I love tone, and he goes with all those weird sounds like That's what my brain's doing right now. Because I didn't do anything this weekend. Did you do anything this weekend?
I went and worked out and
Exactly.
rode around today. That's all I did. Welcome to another Fly Forward podcast. We are keeping all of that in. Again, joined by Glock, Slang here. What'd you do this week?
This week, took a break from Apex, tried out some Diablo, worked out. What about you, Slingstons?
I did try out Diablo. I had a stream.
Oh, you streamed it?
I streamed like 2 hours of it, and then I was gonna come back to it, and I got busy. So I'm like still saved in a spot. I think it's like before the first or second dungeon. But yeah, I'm gonna go back to that probably maybe tomorrow or Tuesday.
Okay.
But I also heard some things about like, I think it was the day of, I heard Lupo talking about it, where saves weren't happening. Like your character level wasn't like saving properly. So like some people got to like 17 and then it reverted back to like 0 or 5 or something like that.
No way.
So he was like, yeah, I'm gonna hold off, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah?
So
I mean, I would probably hold off too.
yeah, I haven't jumped back into it yet, but I'm kind of like, I'll test it. I'll test it like tomorrow and see how it is, because I'm only level 5. It's not like the end of the world, but I never played Diablo before. Did you play the original Diablo?
Nope. Started off with Diablo 3 and then bought the remastered and tried that out a little bit. Did you play Diablo 3?
I didn't play any Diablo. I think
Oh,
I
wow,
think
okay.
Beard and Relish played it. I know Lawson has played it, the Diablos, a lot. He told me the other day when we were working out, he was like, "You getting it?" I was like, "Yeah, I guess I'll get it." Um, yeah, Diablo 3 was like character different style of Diablo 2, right? Where it's like party or whatever.
Yeah, so um originally when I played Diablo 3 is when it first released. I got actually a disc version for my laptop.
Hmm.
And I didn't play multiplayer for a long time, but now since with all the updates and the DLCs, I played it with a friend. Yeah, right off bat you could do party play, so
Oh, okay,
yeah.
interesting. Yeah, I'm interested to play it a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's it. I mean, it's kind of like a classic game, obviously being resurrected, remastered, whatever. But
Right.
having never played it, or like having no real context for it and coming into it kind of blind, I'm like, all right, let's see what happens here. And
Yeah.
honestly, I grabbed an axe and immediately I was like just whacking shit, and
Oh wait. What class did you pick first off?
or not an axe, a short sword. I have a paladin right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I can
I,
see
I
you
had
with
a
Paladin.
I had a short sword, and then I had a staff for a little bit, and then I think I got something else. I can't remember what I got, but learning all the mechanics of it has been like, oh, okay. It took me forever to realize how to keybind shit, like my spells. So up until level 4, I was just smacking shit. I was like, man, I keep leveling these spells up, but I don't have. Where do they go? I didn't know where they went. I just found out.
Well, to be honest, so I feel like Diablo 3, you can definitely tell it's a newer game because of the with your hotbar and your spells and actions and all that.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Um, Diablo 2, I haven't even got to level 2 yet, to be honest.
Yeah, I realized after like because I was just using my mouse, and then I was like, oh, where the hell am I? Like I had a realization of like I don't have my spells, and then I realized, oh, it's because you gotta like bind them to your mouse keys or whatever. You actually have to physically bind them. So I was like, oh, okay,
Hmm.
yeah, but it's enjoyable.
So you like it?
Yeah, so far, it's different, but it's also like, well, put I was really blown away by the cinematic. Granted, it's like a new cinematic, so I don't know what the old one looked like,
That's
but
true.
I was like, oh shit, all right. Some like shit's popping off, and we're like going right into it. And then it like dropped you into that world, and you're like, at first I was like, this is what I'm playing. it took a little bit getting used to, but it's so far it's enjoyable. So and it's I feel like it's gonna be one where I can just like kind of hop in, do some stuff, and then like go to something else.
And it came out originally in 2000, I believe. So
That's yeah, so
yeah,
20 years ago.
yeah. So with the upgraded
Jeez.
graphics, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
but
good. It's
do,
fun.
do you enjoy it?
Yeah, so far. I'm interested to see how we can do like multiplayer with it and get different perspectives of things and see if we
Right.
can do some stuff like that.
I kind of want to dive in a little bit deeper. So what made you pick Paladin?
Um, so for the first time, well, I shouldn't say the first time. When I usually play like an MMO or an RPG, if it's like class based, I kind of do like super minimal research on it, where I'm like, all right, what are the classes? And having no context for Diablo, I was like, what are the classes for this thing? And I was like, oh, barbarian. And then pretty much any video online was like, barbarian's really hard to play. I was like, oh, all right. So I guess I won't play barbarian. And then I was like, I guess I'll do paladin. But then after playing it, I'm like, oh, I could have probably played fucking
Barbarian.
barbarian. Yeah.
So, well, you can at least you can always make another class as Barbarian. I thought honestly, going off how we play D&D, I thought you'd go Barbarian.
I was really looking at it, and I was
I'm
like,
so surprised.
I guess I gotta play barbarian. And then I, I think it was just like how people. It's obviously like long time
Described it.
people. Yeah, they were like, it's really hard to play. It's all close combat. I was like, yeah, but
Yeah.
the paladin's also like that. But it's actually the paladin's a little bit more like my eldritch knight, where you can throw some spell stuff, but everything else is like close hand combat.
Gotcha.
Um,
What's your damage looking like? Is a paladin is a I guess you could go into like it's holy, right? So
mhm.
you do holy damage or whatever
Yeah,
type of damage.
the weapon I
Okay.
have right now has lightning damage attached to it, and
Oh, real.
most of the mobs, yeah, most of the mobs I'm literally one-shotting. So like
Okay.
I don't think I'm far enough in because I'm also playing on normal first time through. So like I
Me
feel like
too.
it's
Me too.
supposed to be super easy because I'm literally like getting like the first little zone. I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be bad. And I was one-shotting stuff. I was like, all right, that wasn't terrible. And then the next zone, it was like mobs of like 10, 15 coming at me. And I was like, I'm dead. There's no way. But then, like, you just move a little bit and smack them, and I was fine. I was like, all
Yeah.
right. So, like, am I, like, too high? Like, I'm confused on that aspect, but it's still fun. But I'm like, I feel like this should
Yeah.
be more challenging. And I'm sure it's going to be. I'm sure it's going to be fucking hell, like, right around the corner. I'm going to be like, great, I'm dead.
Yeah. I mean, you'll definitely have. I feel like you're definitely. I obviously I'm not higher level than you, so I can't tell you. But I feel like you'll have some of those moments where, especially if you're playing by yourself, where you're like, oh, what did I get myself into?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm like. "Ew." Like the first dungeon, I was kind of like, oh, this is oh boy. But then I just couldn't find somebody. That was the only problem. There was like one person left. I was like, where the fuck is this guy at? But yeah, that was pretty much it.
Yeah. I mean,
What are you playing
I
as?
wonder. Um, I I tried Paladin and then I switched to Necromancer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Um, honestly, with Diablo 2, I couldn't find a class that I was totally invested in.
Mm-hmm.
So I did like a quick Google search to check out the classes and kind of which route to take with those classes.
Yeah,
And I felt like maybe Necromancer might be fun,
yeah. Pretty
but we'll
much
see.
any video I saw, like they were pretty good at saying like any class is fun and doable and playable. I think the only one I really didn't look into was Druid, and I was like, I'm good. Eh, Druid does not speak to me.
Druid.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
I'm surprised that they
I
don't have more D&D based things. Like I mean Paladin and Necromancer and stuff like that, but I feel like
right.
customization with
I
this would have been good.
yeah. Um honestly based off Out of context, guys, Sam plays he's a fighter in D&D, and he some of his abilities, or however you want to call them, he has Thunder Wave. So
Mhm.
I feel like maybe Paladin is the best player for you after
Yeah.
hearing.
Yeah. Well, I just lucked out with the sword. It happened to have lightning damage on it. I was like, oh,
Right.
okay.
Okay. Right.
I was like, this. All right. We'll work with this then.
It's meant to be. It's meant to
Because
be.
none of the spells are that way. I don't think. I think the only one to do lightning is going to be the not caster, but the sorcerer. Sorcerer has lightning, fire, and ice. Yeah,
I think you're right. Did you research your characters beforehand or
just a little bit.
a
Like
little bit?
one video where they kind of just did a brief like summary of each character, and then said, "Here's what you could hit at whatever level." I was like, "Oh, okay," but yeah, not too much, because
Gotcha.
I still want to like experience it, like fresh eyes and everything. I don't want to be like,
Yeah, yeah. And the whole point is to make your character the way you want it,
yeah,
right? So,
yeah. Speaking of making your character, New World's almost here. When's it come out? Like two
no,
days?
the 28th, I believe.
So Tuesday? Yeah.
Tuesday. Yep,
Shit. All right.
Tuesday.
So you were reading up on an article just before we started. What was that talking about? Something about
Yeah,
something
so
living?
yeah, let me read it off real quick. It's okay, so it says the Azoth tree comes to life.
Yeah.
In celebration of New World's launch next week, we're collaborating with the extra staff of Urban Screen and Jung Von Mat, sorry if I screw up the name, to set up a light projection of Azoth Tree in Berlin,
Oh,
bringing the iconic landmark in, I don't know how to say this, Internium to life in our world. Should be,
what's that from?
should be,
What article is that?
so it's on the newworld.com website,
Okay.
and it's under News General.
Gotcha. Cool. So they're doing like
And
a real life event for the launch of it. That's cool.
right, and I mean, me and you both played the beta,
Hmm.
and I remember Tyler and Taylor, or Beard of Joy and Taylor played they played it too, didn't they?
I think
I know Tyler did.
Tyler did. I think Taylor did, and or Cody. No, Cody didn't, but Taylor did. Yeah, yeah, it was four.
Yeah.
Um,
I didn't see that as all tree.
that's what I was about
Did
to ask.
you?
I was like, what tree? Was
Yeah.
there a tree? I don't remember a
Yeah,
tree.
I don't I mean not off the first when you get it, and I mean we got decent level,
We
I
kind of
thought, for a beta.
we kind of split though. Like everyone, or not split, but like our first towns were not the same towns, which
Right.
was weird.
That that's true. That's true.
So I wonder if there's a
Yeah,
town with that tree. I don't know. I don't remember a tree. I remember
yeah, maybe it's
skeletons
more
and
end
pirates,
game or
probably.
skeletons and pirates and yep,
Yeah, I don't
yep,
remember it, but
skeletons pirates. That's a good one.
I'm excited for that one as well. Kind of like the Diablo. I haven't sunk my teeth into like a MMORPG in a long time. Last one that I like truly got into was Final Fantasy 14. Um, played that for a while, but then anything before that, I played like when I was a kid. I was obsessed with a game called City of Heroes. City of Heroes and City of Villains. It was like a MMO, but you could make your own superhero.
What
Yeah,
console was that?
it was on PC.
Really?
Hmm. It's
City of Heroes, City of
I think it's NCSoft. Because I remember seeing it all the time. Like so much so that like I had two like books from them. Like it was a really cool like franchise how they like built the world up. There was like kind of a Captain America slash Superman looking guy, and like their own like Justice League type people, and then you make your character. You can join guilds and stuff, but you were literally a superhero going around like saving and like doing stuff.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like DC Online, but before DC Online.
When did you play that? Like early
Oh,
2000s or
yeah, it would have been like middle school,
Okay.
high school, so like 2005,
2000s.
6ish, somewhere in there, or
Wow.
yeah,
And
5, 6ish.
they had guilds.
Yeah, you had so you could like make
Wow.
your own like base of operations. You could have people come in and like decorate it and stuff like that. Kind of like how the guilds are in Final Fantasy, where like there was a house that you could go to and get stuff. Same concept. Um,
Was it the click to move or was it WASD?
it was all keyboard, and then you had like different um, powers depending on what you picked. So you could be like, most of mine were like blasters, so like they would throw things like a la like Iceman or like I don't know, I'm blanking on anybody else that would throw something.
I mean, it's definitely been a while since you played it, so.
Yeah, I'm trying. There, I mean, there's like tank classes. There's like blasters, like range type people. There's like gadget based ones, so you could be kind of like a Green Arrow, Batman esque person, or like an Iron Man esque person, or you could just be like a brawler, and like just hit shit like Superman. But you could get like other powers from different skill trees too. So it was kind of
Okay.
cool. It was that was like my first big gaming experience, I think, like especially MMO wise.
Yeah. I I never heard of it. It's the first time I'm hearing of it. I kind of want to do some research on it because it sounds like it was fun.
Oh yeah, it was fun because it was City of Heroes first. They expanded it to different places. They had comic books, they had books, regular like full books, and then they made a kind of like a partner companion game to it where it was City of Villains, where you could make a villain and you could do villainous tasks. And
So it
then
was like a spin-off.
it was set within the same universe though. Like you could enter like the City of Villains and Heroes. Like if you depending on which title you got, at some point I think you mixed it where you could just pick whichever game you could just pick hero or villain. But they would do events where like there would be a PvP zones and stuff like that, and you would literally see other villains or heroes doing stuff. Yeah, it was one of the best like gaming experiences I ever had, honestly.
Hmm. I
I don't think the company's
I
got it up
just
anymore.
Googled it. Yeah, I just Googled it and wow. Um yeah, I don't think I ever played it,
It was
but
fun.
says it the release date was 2004.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
I don't know if it's still up anymore.
No, it says it was rated 8.4 out of 10 on AGN and 8.4 out of 10 on GameSpot. So, wow. Huh. Okay. Huh. I feel like I missed out on a really good game.
It was what
Childhood game.
honestly I have fond memories of that game, but it's also I think one of those where you remember back in the day when Target had video games, like like the true electronics section where you would actually have to like go buy the PC game. You couldn't download it. You had to have the
Yep.
disc.
Yes.
I
Yep.
remember going there and seeing it, and I was like obsessed with like Justice League Unlimited and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, this looks fun. And it was like rated. I mean, it's RPG. It's not like too bad or anything. But my parents were like, yeah, I guess you can play it. Fucking obsessed. I don't know if they
That's
still
good.
have it anymore. Because I tried looking for it like once I got my PC. I was like, I wonder if it's available. I think that'd be kind of cool. And I don't think it's it.
If they upgrade the textures and all that good stuff and made it modern. Wow.
City of Heroes Homecoming. There's a fucking free version of it.
Are you checking out right now?
Yeah, I just happened to Google it. But yeah, it's because of they shut the servers down at some point. The game was discontinued. So, but people still loved it. Obviously, I'm talking highly of it, but like people online also like fucking loved it.
Huh.
I might
Did
fucking grab that.
Did you ever play RuneScape?
Played RuneScape.
Okay.
I dabbled in WoW, but not mine. Cody had WoW. He was really big into WoW, still is. I don't know if he's played it in a long time, but he had it at his house, and I would go over and watch him play.
Oh, really?
Because I was like, all right, well, I'll see. Because I told him about this, and he never. Um, I don't think he ever got this, but he kept playing. Um, WoW, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty crazy to think about. WoW came out so long ago, and they're re-releasing the classic, or they already have, I should say. But that's crazy. That's crazy.
Oh, I'm downloading this, by the way.
You're downloading it?
Yeah, totally, totally am. It's free. That it's homecoming servers. It's literally they said it's the same thing, but it's free. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. See what happens.
What? What'd you download it off of? Oh,
Uh huh.
okay.
Paragon City. That was the name of it, and it had like a big, like Atlas thing, and that's like was the town center. Super fun. Anyway,
Would play again, obviously.
would play again. Would highly recommend. It was one of those where it was like I don't know how many. I mean, obviously a lot of people played it, but I was like, I don't know how many people are playing this. But like
Right.
now being able to look back on it and like see people were like, yeah, this is like one of the best rated games ever. Like, huh, okay, I wasn't alone on that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, I never heard of it. If you're downloading it, I'll probably download it too.
Yeah, I'll see what happens
So,
with it.
well,
Let's see. So New World, I guess we're kind of excited for New World as well.
yeah.
Just to have something to play with Apex kind of being in. We did play. Taylor and Tyler and I played the other day. It wasn't bad. I think I had one game where I had like a brief instance when I was landing where it was weird, but
Yeah.
other than that, the servers have been fine. We even jumped into
Were
ranked, so
were you rubber banding or
wasn't rubber banding.
okay.
Sometimes shots weren't super landing, but um, could have been my error too. But like every so often, if there's a lot of things happening, it felt a little sluggish. But other than that, it was never compromised. I mean, it was to the point where like we could jump into ranked. Um, I was like, all right, well, let's give it a go if we can.
Okay.
Other than that, I
But
haven't played
do
anything.
do you feel like the server issues got maybe hot fixed or
They put a patch out the other day, and
okay.
they were this week. Let's see, the event was Tuesday. The event ended, and the event you literally just played and you would get points for it. So it was kind of cool. I never saw the ship. I never saw Rampart's ship over there, so that kind of bummed me out. Um, but it seemed to be at least obviously they knew it was happening. So
Yeah.
they pushed something out as quick as they could. I think for whatever reason their time like restrictions were not or not restrictions but like their time management was very peculiar for it. Like I feel like any other studio, I know I said it like last week and maybe the week before. I feel like indie studios would be like, "Oh, this is wrong," or "Oh, we're having problems here. Hot fix. Like let's fix this as soon as possible." Felt like it was very much like, "Yeah, we'll get to it, guys. You just gotta wait for that next patch." And we're like, "You can't just like what?"
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, I feel like there
I mean,
shouldn't be excuses for a AAA studio anymore, like in this day and age.
do you feel like Splitgate, for example, do you feel like those devs listened to the problems and fixed them quicker rather than Apex, or what do you think?
Yeah, but I think Splitgate's problems were smaller in size than Apex's were because they had very smaller maps
Right,
and everything like that. So if something's
right.
wrong, they could fix it. Um, they also got like I think they just funded like 100 million or something like that. So like, yeah, yeah, they got money coming.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, which is it's
Uh,
cool, but at the same time, it's like a lot of people were very excited for that, but I think they were only excited because Halo wasn't here yet, and now that Halo's been here the past like 2 weekends, it skipped a weekend. Uh, However many weeks it's been here, like off and on, people are experiencing Halo again. They're like, oh, well, that's Halo. Like, I'm just ready for Halo. Not, I don't really care for Splitgate, which
right.
is kind of concerning because you just got $100 million, and
Yeah. No.
like, I don't know if your player base is going to be there within like 6 months.
Oh, especially with Halo releasing in November.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't know.
I mean,
I
you could use a lot of that for the prize money if you really want to go into esports. I could see it being an esport. I just
yeah.
like it's one of
That's
those. I don't know.
tough. It's a tough situation because the longevity on Splitgate, I don't think it's as long as Halo.
Right.
What about you?
I
So,
think Halo's coming back boosts it not only because people are like excited for a different shooter, but also it's Halo. Um, Splitgate was kind of like the appetizer for everything. They're like, hey, we're working on this.
yep,
Try this out. See how you like it. It's like the salad before the big steak, and Halo's going to be the steak. I think that's how it's going to play out. I really do, unfortunately. But
that's that's a really good reference. That's a really good reference.
I think that's how it's going to go. I think they're going to enjoy their time. I think they'll probably have a really good community backing them. Obviously, I mean they grew exponentially on Steam and everything. So like the community's there. I don't know if it's 100 million worth there. I mean, it could be. I could be totally off base with this, but I think it's only there because people are excited about Halo. And once Halo gets here, people are not going to be playing Splitgate. Could be
No,
totally off.
yeah, who knows?
I think it'd be really fun to watch. I think it'd be interesting to watch that how they would make like maybe a third person camera like watching the event instead of like following along first person because you'd have to follow along but you would be going through portals. So if you were like quit me on me. Um so if you had like a stationary kind of like overhead camera watching the portals open and seeing where players are going, I think that would be more fun to watch than like being on board with FPS.
Okay, I
Yep.
yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah,
Like you don't watch football first person in their
first
helmet.
person. Yep.
Like and
Yep.
I've thought this for a while for like Call of Duty and stuff too. Like just give me like an overhead of the map while they're playing. I don't want to be on board with people. Like it's cool in certain moments, but like I'd much rather like sit from afar, like and watch them down here. I don't know. That's just me. I feel like if I'm spectating it, I should spectate the entire thing instead of like, hey, I'm on board with this guy. Oh, I'm gonna switch over here. Oh, we're gonna switch over here. I feel like esports is just like stuck in that mindset of no, need to be on board with those people
Yeah.
instead of following along with the camera. Have two camera. It's digital. You don't have to put a fucking camera in there. Just like have two cameras following along the teams. I don't know. I could be totally off on that.
I I I wish there was a way to try that out.
Mm.
Hmm. You might
Um.
be onto something. You might be onto something right there.
Well, they do it. Here's the where I got the thought was they do it in Call of Duty where they'll do like these aerial views. So I've always once I saw those I was like, why are we not just watching it that way? Like let me watch the whole map because I know the map. I know which teams start on which end. I can figure it out. You can paint them red and blue, whatever you want to do, and just let me watch it.
Right. There.
I think that's what
Yep.
Splitgate could do very well if they like took that route instead of like following along because you've seen some of those clips of people doing crazy portals. People would get sick.
Yep.
I think people
Yeah.
would legit get like motion
I
sickness.
I yeah. Um, motion sickness. Yeah. Um, your idea with the cameras. I think that would be an amazing idea with Splitgate. Yeah,
I think
that would be really good. Even playing that 3-on-3. Remember,
that would be, yeah,
it was a while ago. You, me, and Taylor,
yeah,
and that crazy.
yeah.
That was so fun, but it was tough.
I think
It was really engaging.
that's the game I feel like they're banking on because that's a different mode than any other game I've seen. It's different enough, but like close enough that like people can understand it real quick. I think if they're gonna push it, they're gonna push that mode first. Maybe some other ones if they throw it in there, but like that one for sure is like, oh, that's like kind of like S&D esque, where it's like one life, but like I guess not S&D, but like it's not really like TDM. I don't know how to describe it. It was really fun though, like because you
It was
gotta
it
play
was pretty much if
tactically.
you there always has to be a player alive.
Yeah, so you gotta
So
really use that movement, and I'd be excited to see like high level players. I'm excited to see high level players in general, like Valorant, Call of Duty, anything like that. It's fun to watch. I just think maybe at some point, hopefully, we can move away from first person views for all that stuff and like getting an overhead view. That's just me. I don't know. It probably won't happen.
or maybe like split.
Yeah,
You
because there are clearly like certain views where like if someone's going on a rampage or it's like an S&D match in Call of Duty and it's 1v4, yeah, I want to watch the person that's the one, see what happens. Because there's so many times where like they wipe that four-man rush and it's like, holy shit, they just did that.
yeah, yeah. Um it I think that's where the split camera would be, where you have the first person with a going on a rampage.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be awesome to watch, but at the same time, seeing like the location of the other players
Mm-hmm.
on the map and just how they execute it.
Yeah, seeing how it's lined up and like you can
Yep.
see, because you can see that play happening. You're like, oh shit, he could pull this off, or she, whoever's playing. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of kind of fun new games, possibly teased this week was a Halo BR. I mean, it's been in the rumor mill for a long time. I know we talked about it last week, probably the week before as well. But this week it kind of took it to another level with the, I think it was another alpha flight or a beta flight. No, it was an alpha flight of Halo this weekend, where you could actually play PvP instead of just what it has been is PvE, where you're on a team but it's like bots. Um, so they kind of finally stress test the servers, and it seemed to be working okay. Minus one map I noticed was not working real well with everybody. Um, but Doctor Disrespect and Tin the Tap Man decided to either tease it because maybe they have knowledge, or kind of play everybody for fools and be like, yeah, the new 300 person BR for Halo. That's what we're playing today. And at first I was like, oh shit, all right, hell yeah, I didn't know that was happening. And they're like, not happening.
Hmm.
Well, I say that the streamer's saying it's not happening, but that's not the company saying that's not happening.
Right.
I don't know. I agree with Tim on it. He had a good kind of deduction of why he thinks it's going to happen. Pretty much he was like, I think Halo is the perfect framework for a BR with the warthogs, with the ghosts, all that stuff, in an open map. You drop in from the drop pods. You maybe have like a BR from the get go, and then you just survive. Like you wouldn't have to pick up different attachments. You just have your guns, maybe certain stashes on the map. You could drive the warthog around, and it'd have to be a huge map to be fair. Because if somebody gets a
Yeah.
sniper, you can hit those snipe shots from way out of there.
Or
Yeah.
yep.
But I think he's right in the fact that, they do have a very good framework for that BR if they decide to do it. Are you,
So
are you eating?
so
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Just checking.
yeah. So I I know. So we're revisiting this from I believe the podcast from 2 weeks ago when we talked about the Halo Battle Royale,
Mm,
right? So I feel like my stance on it was I wasn't really for it,
yeah.
but after hearing the potential for it from Tim and maybe Dr. Disrespect, I am it definitely built more excitement for me as just a different option to play Halo.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think once it was painted kind of like uh, in how they structured their wording. I don't know why. Like, I feel like I feel like I was like almost there where they were on some of the stuff that they were talking about, but like just not quite around the corner to see what they're talking about. If that
yeah,
makes sense. Like, I kind of get the general premise of the BR. I think I generally know how that BR would work, but then them saying like it does have the perfect framework, and I think it was somebody just mentioning like, could you imagine just dropping in from a drop pod that way, and then like you don't pick your spot, like it's just random, or you could pick it. It doesn't really matter. But I was like, oh, I guess you do have drop pods. That would be kind of cool.
mm.
Because I was thinking like you jump out of a pelican or something, or like
Oh yeah,
you just like spawn in. But like after thinking about it, I was like, oh yeah, they do have those like the ODST drop pods. So you drop in, you might like set your drop pod up with like a gun or two, or like a couple supplies, and then survive. I I think it could work. I mean I don't know if they'll do
it
it.
I definitely feel like it could work.
Yeah,
Um,
I feel like it's also a thing of industry wise. I feel like they need to at least make an effort into that genre because they're one of the kind of
in which
godfathers of it.
into the into the battle royale genre or
Yeah, yeah.
okay,
I think if Halo doesn't like now after seeing so many battle royales, PUBG,
Fortnite,
Fortnite, everything,
Apex,
um,
Warzone.
yeah, how they all like kind of take bits and pieces from each other, and now it's kind of a hodgepodge. Now I'm to the point of like I don't really play Warzone that much. Probably won't until that Vanguard update comes out for the anti-cheat, and they really got to prove
Yeah.
themselves. I already talked about that, but I do watch it still. Like Tim plays Warzone uh, with Doc more than Apex, but I enjoy
Okay.
playing Apex a little bit more. But I gotta admit, when I see them playing Warzone, I'm like, it'd be kind of fun to jump back on Warzone. And then like the very next game, they're getting like hacked on. So I'm like, hey,
And then you're like, oh, now I
yeah,
remember.
that's why we don't play that. Um,
Yeah.
but after seeing that stuff, I'm like, I would like to see what Halo could do with a BR. I think it would be really fun.
Right.
Um, especially with the guns that they kind of have this time around. Um, the what do you call it? Custom customization of it this time, where you could have your Spartan looking different, um, and just like the overall experience being on like a Halo ring, I would assume, because it's I think from the what do we have a trailer or something? I think one of the trailers or something. It looked like they were on another ring because you could see like the landscape go up a little bit. But I'm not
Okay.
positive. I'm not like 100% on that, but I think that's where it's at. Because you could like, I mean, if it's like a ring, you could travel around the ring, and you could have like different biomes around the ring for different BR spots. Or the whole ring is
Gotcha.
a fucking biome or whatever. It's a smaller ring or a bigger ring or however many people they decide to put on it. I don't know. I think
I
it'd be cool.
I mean, I am definitely intrigued now that they they mentioned something about it. Like them as in Dr. Disrespect and
How
Tim the
drunk are you?
Tatman.
Yeah. Jesus. A little drunk there, I.
Okay, back to the news.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So in other news, we have Tim the Tatman, again talking about Tim. He joined Complexity this week as a part owner. So he will be part owner of Complexity in terms of operations. He did a meet and greet this weekend on Saturday. Those of you that don't know, Complexity is based uh, right down there in Frisco, Texas, Dallas area. I think their offices are like right at AT&T Stadium or something like that. Um, something crazy, like it's like right outside their window or something. Um, but yeah, he's a part owner now. Um, they did a meet and greet for him. They sold out of all of his merch. They broke the site when they announced it. Um, he gets like
They
tickets to the Dallas Cowboys whenever.
broke the site.
Yeah, I went to the
Wow.
site and it got this weird code. It was like the site you're trying to reach is down right now, but this is an older site, like
Wow.
that you can look at because everyone tried to get his merch. He got a custom
Really?
complexity jersey with his logo on
Oh,
it.
okay.
So I was like, oh okay. Immediately, once he announced it, it crashed. I was like, oh shit.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. He also announced a tour. So AT&T partnered with him where he's going to physically travel to locations. I think the first one is on Tuesday, and
This
he hasn't said
this
where.
upcoming Tuesday?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
okay.
He hasn't said where exactly, but people are pretty certain he's going to be streaming from Dallas Cowboy Stadium on Tuesday.
Wow.
Like legit, right there, streaming the whole thing from the stadium. And then he's got two more with AT&T showing off like their 5G network. Big time like partnership for him. So that's kind of
Yeah.
crazy. Everything's coming up Tim.
Him. That that is massive.
Yeah, yeah.
That
He can now say he's officially in business with Jerry Jones. And for
yeah.
um, Cowboys fans like Relish Taylor, that's like la, like Jerry World gets to go there whenever. Probably has box seats somewhere. That's crazy.
Crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Tim
So
Tim is making money moves. He's doing big
he
things.
he made the money moves. For reference, Complexity is one of the um, longest organizations in esports and gaming. Um,
Okay.
they are really big into CS:GO. Their CS:GO team won championship a couple times. Um, grabbing their achievements. Oh boy. Uh, they've won a couple of Valorant tournaments. They're in the ALGS. They're in FIFA. They're in CS. They are in Overwatch. Um, I'm looking through all their achievements on the channel. It's like first, second, first, second, first. They've been in esports since 2004.
2004.
Yes,
Wow.
they got first place
Wow.
at UGSO in 2004 in CS:GO. They got third place in Call of Duty in 2004 for CPL Summer. Um, so pretty much all their first stuff is CS, and then they've played Quake, um, Dota. It looks like at one point. But yeah, the other thing that Tim and because Tim made this announcement on Tuesday and he was streaming with Lupo, Disrespect, and Z-Laner. Um, Lupo out of nowhere was like, "Oh, you know what you can do now?" He's like, "What? You're like everyone's bosses there now. You could like tell them to put you on the world's first guild for WoW." And he's like, "Oh my god, I can. Oh my god, I'm doing it." I was like, "Holy shit. All right." I'm not the biggest WoW guy, but I thought that was fucking hilarious when he was like, "Oh my god, I can do that." So right now
Dude,
they're in Counter Strike, FIFA, Valorant, Fortnite, Apex, Madden, MTG, Arena, Hearthstone, limited guilds, and then they have content creators. Holy shit, they got a lot of content creators. I think Electra just signed with them as well.
okay.
Um, I don't know how recent that is though. But Electra's one of the bigger ones I remember seeing or see her like on TikTok and stuff like that. But yeah, they're like they're if it's if you're gonna be with an OG organization within gaming and esports, like Complexity's up there. Like there aren't many older than Complexity.
Alright. Yeah. 2004.
2004.
That's
It'd be like
wow.
Optic. I don't know. I don't even think Optic wasn't around back then. It'd have to be like shit. Maybe Team Solo Mid. No, Team Solo Mid wasn't. Shit. I don't even know. I don't know my esports history.
2004 is that's it doesn't seem like too long ago. It was 17 years ago, but
The
that's
first
crazy.
CS
That's
event ever played was in 2000.
wow.
By the way,
2000.
2000. Uh,
2000. That's crazy.
for reference,
Two
back
day over 2 decades
yeah,
over 2 decades ago. That's
for reference, that was also like
wow.
2000. It had a limited release on Xbox back then. Um, and then oh, it was still Justin TV. It wasn't Twitch yet. It was Justin TV
Oh
and Ustream.
wow.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Did did you know about Justin TV back then or
I only know about Justin TV because of older streamers. Like every so often, like they'll be like, "Yeah, it was Justin TV back in the day." Like if you watch the old, either the Optic podcast or the 6150 podcast when it's like Nade Shot and Scump in them, they'll drop hints of like, not hints, but like, yeah, back then it was Justin TV. So it was like Justin TV, and then MLG Gaming decided to make their own streaming platform, and they like paid for a bunch of the COD pros to stream exclusively on there. It's like the first like stream deals, not like we do have now, but the precursor to that. Um,
right?
and then Justin TV switched from that to Twitch. I think that's around the time they got bought by Amazon, so that's why it switched at some point. But yeah, I knew about Justin TV, and I didn't know about it back then. Um, that was out of my purview.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I would say mine too.
yeah. Let's see here.
Wow.
What are we gonna wrap it up with here? Um, so we have another MMO to play now in City of Heroes. Um,
Right.
I believe our Valorant team's getting ready to get back into some league play because the league they play for has been doing a lot of. I think it's like this split is for League of Legends.
Okay.
So once that finishes up, I think it's like a 4 weeks, 4 or 5 week stint, um, and then they go back to Valorant. Um, so that'll be exciting when they get back to competing and us able to watch them compete. Would be fun. Um, yeah, kind of excited to see how Apex kind of switches over to Kings Canyon for the second half of the ranked season.
Gotcha.
Uh, if everything goes well, and their servers are fixed. And I'll probably hop back on. They weren't too bad this past Thursday. I want to say
Sure.
Thursday. Yeah.
Okay.
So they weren't bad then. They'll probably do another patch here this week, but they were stable. Um, I didn't feel like I was
I
getting cheated.
didn't Beard of Joy say the main fix was gonna be later this week?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and then the only other thing I saw was Vanguard. Um, it's very much depends on who you're watching on social media. A lot of people are saying Vanguard's gonna be really good for like competitive play and gunplay and stuff like that. And then
Really?
supposedly, like a lot of the pros and stuff are like grain of salt though. A lot of the pros are also COD partners, so like they're being paid to say these things in a sense.
Okay. So
But there's a lot of like TikToks and stuff, like the ones I sent you last week, where just things are not working. Like
no,
it's bad.
yeah.
So I'm not. I'm. I'm torn because I do want to see something like that succeed, but like um, it seems like it was a bad idea from the jump with being World War
Gotcha.
II and all that,
Yep.
and
Yep.
seemingly rushed. Um, I just I don't see them pulling it off. Um, and
Yeah.
they've been relatively quiet on stuff on social media, at least like Call of Duty in general, because pretty much everything's been team announcements for the pros, but nothing like Vanguard related. So I don't know if that's worrisome or like just like it's not time to release things about it. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you see any other Vanguard stuff?
I I I I did not. I saw that you had played on PC, but other than that, no.
Yeah. So they are moving to PC for competitive play, but it'll
Gotcha.
be
Okay.
controllers, but it'll be on PC. Um,
Mm.
but apparently PC's like where all the issues were, so that's interesting that that's
Oh, great.
like
Just great.
like on consoles people weren't having issues, which is pretty common. Like consoles usually won't get issues because it's like pretty uniform, but when you have different
Right. Okay.
rigs for a PC, that's when all the shit hits the fan. Um, yeah, I try to be optimistic, but after talking to Beard about it, I was just like, yeah, like they really got to prove themselves with the anti-cheat, and they really got to prove themselves that like the new map for Warzone is legit and good. Because I, the only other thing I saw on it was like side by side comparison of the color schemes of when they went from regular Warzone and when it got integrated to Cold War Warzone, and the color palette went from like semi vibrant to like dull, like super dull and muddy and murky
Okay.
when they did the Cold War thing. And so I'm like, eh. So we went murky when it was 1980s or 70s, and now we're gonna go to 1940s. I feel like I feel like we're going in the wrong direction here, like in terms of color. I feel like things should pop more than
Downhill.
yeah,
Yeah. Downhill. Yep.
yeah. I'm not excited about it, but the only thing I'm excited about is Warzone. Maybe getting like a resurgence and boost in that stuff.
Okay.
That's the only one I would play. I don't really care anymore for multiplayer pub matches or anything like that. Um, so like if by some ungodly reason we all get it, okay.
Do you see? Do you think we'll all end up buying it, or
I think I don't know. I think
I feel like if you buy it, I'll probably buy it. I
yeah,
feel like if maybe Beard and Taylor and Cody end up buying it, we'll all end up buying it regardless. So
yeah. Like I think the consensus I will say is pretty much everyone is more excited for Battlefield than Call of Duty.
right. Yeah.
I think it's more of a waiting thing on Call of Duty to see like Call of Duty's got to prove themselves. Like Battlefield doesn't really have
Yeah.
like to prove themselves. Um, Battlefield is you know what you're getting with it, but like this year it looks to be a lot more fun and enjoyable and like more of like what people want in terms of that realism, but also like wacky shit.
Right.
Whereas Call of
Yeah.
Duty is like not not fetching the realism stuff, but like I, I don't know, like I don't know where they're trying to be in terms of like realistic slash. It's just a game. Like don't worry about it. Like just make your mind up. Like be realistic, and it's a World War II realism thing, or be Call of Duty like years past and just fucking have fun with it.
Are you gonna have red dots or are you
Yeah,
not?
yeah. Are you gonna have red? Are you gonna have the M19 in my kill cam, like from fucking 90 years in the future?
There you go.
Yeah. The last little
Uh, yeah.
thing is the great debate that was happening this week online was: Are you team mouse and keyboard, or are you team controller?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. How do you feel about? Or did you see any of this stuff happen?
I did not.
So it was brought up by a lot of people.
Okay.
Dr. Disrespect, Scump, Nadeshot, Myth, a lot of icons were bringing this up, mainly due to aim assist on controllers, saying the wise old tale of controllers have that aim assist, like you're nothing without your aim assist, stuff like that, or vice versa. Um, Keyboard and mouse have way more movability and stuff like that, and you're sharper with everything like that. The only thing I really saw in it, other than um, well, I saw two things. Scump went off on aim assist and mouse and keyboard and stuff, and was like, "Shut up, just play the game." I was like, "Thank you."
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
Doc and Tim decided to play controllers to prove, quote unquote, that playing on controllers is easier with aim assist. The two of them could not figure out how the fuck to get aim assist activated on their controllers for like 5 matches. There's a clip of Tim like aiming down sights. I think he's in airport, like looking up under the tunnel or something. And he like I can tell Tim's kind of like joking with it. Doc was a little bit more serious with it, but um, he was like hoping that when you see those crazy videos of like the reticle like just following somebody on when they're not even doing anything, he was really
Yeah.
hoping for that. Never fucking happened. So he was like, "Why is it not catching?" Like he was hoping that it would catch at some point, like if you're shifting a gear and you find a gear. Never happened. So he was just like spray and pray for everything, not hitting shots. And it was hard to watch. So
Do you
where do you stand?
um
You only
I
have
I
5 seconds.
I I would say mouse and keyboard. What
Oh boy.
about you?
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
What
end of this
about you?
podcast. No, no, no. I I think a lot of it has to do with the game, especially like Call
Okay.
of Duty. I did try to play mouse and keyboard a lot, um, but it feels more natural on a controller.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's like me because I've played controller pretty much my whole life, or
Yeah.
like I it's hard to tell. Like I don't think any of them took that aspect into it, which they
Right.
probably should
Okay.
have. But I feel like I feel like a controller is easier to play with, especially on Apex. I think Apex is designed for controller, um, but like it's easier to do stuff with a mouse and keyboard. I tried to play Apex with a mouse and keyboard for a long time. I started getting okay with it, and then I was like, well, let's see what happens if I plug the controller in, and I felt like 10 times more confident and everything. I was like, oh,
Okay.
so it's also like I don't know, man. Like you prefer steak or fillets, ribeyes or fillets. Like I can I don't think it's the big a deal as they made it out to be, but it
No.
was funny to watch all of these people just like totally up in arms about it. Like
Yeah.
semi-serious it
I
seemed like.
I feel like aim assist does not help that much.
Yeah. Not
Would you agree?
yeah, not as much as like I can tell when aim assist like kicks in and it's very very rare when it does. Um but it's not the like outrageous clips that they were trying to recreate where like it's the tracking clip all the way across. So I don't know how much aim assist they thought they were going to get. I feel like they thought it was going to control the stick and just do everything for them
Yep.
instead of actually having to do shit. Which again is I think why they were kind of tongue in cheek with it, so to speak.
Yep. Yep.
But others were not. Others were kind of like, I will live and die on this hill of fucking mouse and keyboard and controller. And I was like, oh Jesus, all right, like just play it whatever you want.
Here, just play the game.
Yeah, play the game, have fun. If you suck on mouse and
Yeah.
keyboard, try controller. Maybe you don't suck that
Yep.
way.
That that's a very good way to put it.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah.
but yeah. Hopefully next week we will have maybe some other news in terms of like not hitting COD, Apex, BR, and Halo again. um, we might look at
it, all of them are a recurring topic.
they are
So
reoccurring, but like I mean that's the it's
it's what's going on. So
yeah it's
mean,
kind of a dry spot right now. Like everything's in this weird like in between spot of coming out or like it's just betas. So like the Halo and the Vanguard beta, like yeah we could talk about them, but like that's not the final product. It's very very close to the final product. I don't think the Halo one was the beta though. I think it was just like a alpha again. Um, but I don't want to like keep beating that dead horse. I guess.
right. We'll switch it up for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some other like news stories that we could probably grab. Um, a great way to keep like tabs on things. They'll probably never see this, but esports talk on YouTube does a very very good job of kind of like doing quick short like 5 6 minute videos about like whatever topics that pop up. And they do like a roundup podcast at the end of the week too. But
Okay.
but if you want to like stay in tune to like what's happening, they're a good resource to use. Um, that goes for everybody. That I mean,
Yeah.
that's where I get a lot of my stuff. There's also like esports journalists on Twitter and stuff that every so often they'll break a story. Um, but yeah, the main things this week were Diablo and Tim joining Complexity as part owner, and New World's almost here. I feel like next week will probably be a little bit more about New World since we'll be playing it, and maybe City of Heroes.
There we go.
Turn it into a City of Heroes podcast.
Yeah. No kidding.
I guess we could do
Uh.
like movies and TV too, or something like just pop culture.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Do you think we should open up more or just stick to gaming news and opinions?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let us know in the comments down below. And then hopefully next week schedules line up and we can have like maybe Taylor and Tyler on.
Yep. Yep.
Have more talking going on, um, or like more conversation, I guess, and get their
Right.
opinions on stuff that we already hashed, so we're not hashing the same stuff. Because like I said last week, I was interested to see Taylor's opinion on Call of Duty because he's way more into that than I am. I fucking work in esports and I'm not as like die hard on Call of Duty stuff as he is. Um, but yeah, so until next time, this has been the Fly Forward podcast. Our new merch is still down below. Actually, here 1 second before I end it. is our tapestry. I did my best with my gigantic tapestry to show it on camera, and then I realized, oh, it's way too big. Um, but but yeah, the Crown Knocked is still available for you guys down below. I should have some samples here this coming week. No, either this week or next week. I'll have samples to show off. Um, but yeah, that's the Fly Forward podcast. All of our affiliate codes are down below as well for you. Let us know in the comments what you want us to talk about more. If there's something that you want to like do a whole episode on or anything like that, we can do that as well. Other than that, see you guys in the next one. Fly Forward.